All right, today we're diving into something really cool. We're not just telling you a crime story, we're actually going to break down the step-by-step logic a detective uses to unravel what seems like a perfect crime. It's a real masterclass in deduction, all set against a pretty intense backdrop of fire and greed. So let's get right into it.
So our story doesn't begin with a clue or a piece of evidence. It begins with a sound. The desperate cries of a man who's trapped, a voice that's about to be silenced for good. Imagine this. It's 4 o'clock in the morning when Detective Mahul gets the call. A high-tech lab on the third floor is completely engulfed in flames, and a famous scientist, a Dr. Manohar, is stuck inside. I mean, the clock is ticking, big time. So when Detective Mahul arrives on the scene, he's immediately faced with his first life or death puzzle. How in the world do you get inside a burning building when literally every entrance looks like a death trap? The fire is just raging. There are 3 doorways leading into the lab, but each one presents its own unique danger. If he chooses the wrong one, it would be fatal for him and the doctor. So what's the logical move here? What do you do? And this is just a fantastic example of pure deduction under extreme pressure. He very quickly assesses the options. Door 1 is blocked. That's a dead end. Door 2 is a solid wall of fire, basically a death sentence. But door 3? That's where the logic really clicks into place. The flames are high up, concentrated at the top of the doorframe. The bottom part, it's clear. Then Mahal spots a skateboard nearby, a simple object, and in this incredible stroke of creative genius, he uses it to slide right under the inferno. But he's too late. Just as he gets through, a series of chemical explosions just rock the lab, forcing him back out. The rescue mission has failed, and now it's a murder investigation. After the fire is finally put out, Mahul steps into the charred remains of the lab, and to his trained eye, the scene is just screaming foul play. This was no accident, and now he has to prove it. So the investigation begins. The security guard confirms he was drugged, which proves this was arson. The killer planned this whole thing out. But every plan has a flaw, and the most brilliant clues are often the ones that are left right in front of you. And this is the killer's first crucial mistake, and it's all caught on camera. Mehul compares the CCTV footage. In yesterday's recording, you can clearly see an anti-fire cylinder on the wall, but right before the fire starts at 4 a.m., it's gone. This proves premeditation. The killer didn't just start a fire. They deliberately removed the only thing that could have stopped it. Okay, so this was definitely premeditated, there's no doubt about that. But that just raises an even darker question. Even with the fire extinguisher gone, a healthy person could have run. So why didn't Dr. Manohar even try to escape? The answer, and it's horrifying, is found under a burnt table, a heavy iron chain, and a broken lock. The conclusion is absolutely chilling. Dr. Manohar was physically chained down. He never stood a chance. So the how of the murder is now brutally clear. But that leaves the most important question. Who? The investigation now has to shift from forensics to finding an actual human suspect. Mehul interviews the building manager, who gives him the first real lead. It turns out that for the last few days, Dr. Manohar had been meeting with a mysterious visitor, someone who was posing as a close friend. A quick check of the visitor logs and a photo ID gives them a name, Ramesh Datta. Now, this guy is a well-known, powerful businessman from another city. He owns several medicine factories. And just like that, he is now suspect number 1. So Mehul has his target, but getting to Ramesh Datta is not going to be easy. In fact, it presents a completely new kind of logical challenge. To get to the next city, Mehul has 3 options: a long but safe highway, a dangerous shortcut through a forest that's known for bandits, or an even quicker shortcut that runs right alongside a lake that is teeming with crocodiles. So what's the smart play here? So here we see Mehul applying a totally different kind of logic. It's environmental deduction. This isn't about crime scene forensics. It's about understanding the world around him. He notes one simple fact. It's a cold morning. That's the key. Crocodiles are cold-blooded. They're going to stay in the relatively warmer lake water, not hang out on a freezing cold road. The highway is just too slow, and the forest is way too risky. So believe it or not, the crocodile road is actually the fastest and the safest route. So Mehul arrives in the city and tracks Ramesh to his factory. The final act of this investigation, the trap, is about to be set. Now he can't just storm in. So Mahol goes undercover, gets inside the factory, and discovers the truth. Ramesh Datta is running a massive counterfeit drug operation. This gives Mahol a perfect idea. He calls Ramesh, posing as a shady buyer who's looking to make a huge deal. The bait is out. And the trap works. Lured by the promise of a massive payday, Ramesh meets the supposed buyer. But when he's confronted by Detective Mahul, the pressure and the evidence are just too much, and his whole story just unravels. He confesses everything. And the motive? Pure greed. Dr. Manohar had developed this revolutionary formula to create low-cost medicines. It was a formula that Ramesh wanted to use to produce counterfeit drugs for millions and millions in profit. And when Dr. Manohar refused to sell, Ramesh decided to take it by force. In the end, Ramesh really thought he'd planned the perfect crime. He accounted for fire extinguishers, for physical restraints, but he completely overlooked the simplest, most human element, his own visits to the lab. It just reminds us that no matter how complex the plan is, the logic of a simple truth can often unravel the whole thing. So what do you think was his biggest mistake? Was it the evidence he left behind, or was it just his own greed?